It is here. The sample of my fresh picked 2026 calendar has arrived. It is super cute. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I have to say, seeing my artwork for real printed into something is always exciting. I don't think it's ever gonna get old. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the final steps. I'm gonna give you a deep dive into what the calendar looks like printed. I'll go through every page. I'm gonna talk about how I'm gonna price it and list it, and I'll tell you a few of the lessons that I learned along the way, including a couple of things that I would do differently next time. So let's dive in. So let's start with the printed calendar. It was printed through Gelato, my go-to print-on-demand provider. I am so incredibly happy with how the colors turned out. They're soft, but they're also bold, and I really love that. And like I've said in my other two videos in this series, I used the Risograph brush set from Retro Supply in Procreate again this year. And I just love how it adds that perfectly imperfect texture. My favorite spread, honestly, probably the tomatoes. I love the bold red on the checkerboard pattern. I just think it's a lot of fun, and I don't use red a lot in my artwork, but this calendar gave me the opportunity to use some colors that I don't use all the time, and red is one of them. Also, did you spot the fruit theme this year? I don't know how you could miss it. I leaned into that when I realized I already had some great fruit block prints in my portfolio. So if you want to hear more about that, then go back to part 1 of this 3-part series, and I'll talk to you and give you some permission to reuse your own artwork. So once the sample arrived and I confirmed that it looked how I wanted it to, I got to work creating my Etsy and Shopify store listings. I added styled photos and detailed descriptions. I made sure that my keywords were in place because SEO is the slow artist's best friend. And I ended up pricing my calendar at $29. And that gives me a bit of profit while still keeping it affordable. And POD really makes it easy for me to offer a beautiful product without holding inventory for customers. So no waiting weeks for me to pack it and ship it. That's one of the things that I love the most about print on demand is I don't have to be my own warehouse, which is great because I live in a really small place. So for marketing, I am keeping it simple but intentional. I announced it to my email list, slow marketing for the win. I created a highlight on my Instagram, and of course, this video series has been a great way to bring people along for the journey. So now let's talk about what I would do differently next time. First of all, I really pushed this project into a tight timeline. Between my full-time job and everything else going on in my life, next year I am promising myself that I will give myself more time to create the artwork and get everything running smoothly. The second thing I've learned is that reusing your own artwork is not cheating. Let's stop doing that to ourselves. What it is smart. Utilizing my existing fruit artwork really helped to streamline my process and to get this calendar created in the short timeline that I gave myself. And third, having a system is everything. The first time I made a calendar, I followed Liz Kohler Brown's method inside of her membership called The Studio, and it truly made the whole process feel doable. And so I repeated that again this year. And again, if you're interested in trying out a free week of Liz's membership, there's a link down there below. 1 free week, see how you like it. I love it. I've been a member pretty much since the beginning, but you try it out and see for yourself. It's honestly the best money I spend every month. Okay, so that wraps up my 2026 calendar journey, believe it or not. If you want your own copy of the calendar, there's a link below. It's in my shop and ready for purchase, ready for 2026, which is very fast approaching. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this whole process, all the way from my initial sketches to pricing the calendar and putting it up into my store. And if you have ever dreamed of turning your art into a real physical product, I hope this series helped you to get a little bit closer and feel like it is completely possible for you. Until next time, happy making. And if you like this video, I would love it if you subscribed. I know everybody asks you to do that, but it really does make a difference. I'll see you next time.